Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cap Paranormal Files. My name is Wes. This is Topshelfers, and in this series, we dive into videos from across the web that are labeled as paranormal or ghosts or anything of that kind, and we decide whether or not they are fact or cap, real or fake. We're not going to talk a whole lot. Last episode ran a little too long. It was like an hour and some odd change. We're just going to jump into this shit today. We got top 10 crazy scary ghost videos from Nuke's top 5. His link will be below always if you don't want to hear me commentating over these or talking about them. If you just want to watch the video, link will be below. Go show him some love. He's still the best ghost compiling channel on the platform. So without further ado, let's hop in.
Paranormal enthusiast James White has a very spooky business. He professionally arranges and hosts seances in allegedly haunted and abandoned buildings in Toronto, Canada. James is hosting a seance at the historic Lambton House with a group of curious participants. The Lambton House is a former inn that was built in 1860, and it is said to be extremely haunted. Now James White and his group are about to witness something absolutely terrifying.
So Norman, someone in this room is trying to harm you? Is it a person? If so, give me a sign. Are they in this room? Is it a male? Oh my God! Do not recognize it. They hold him back. He like his chair tipped backward. Why did your chair tip back? I did not move it. Oh. Something just pulled. Yeah. Keep your hands together. Keep your hands together. We grabbed him as soon as he fell back. Do not break. Okay, really? It did break when he fell though, because he went that far back. Okay, so did somebody actually pull your chair? Yeah, like he tipped backwards. Yeah. Somebody pulled your chair? Yes.
While in the middle of a seance, one participant is forcefully yanked backwards out of his chair by an unseen force.
Is it a male?
The door behind me was open, and I had my partner sitting beside me, and we had the door was open behind us, and we thought we heard something back there, but nothing was there. So we turned, and I looked, and I saw nothing. So I turned my head back towards the group, like the circle, and we're all holding hands. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like this force just come and pull me back, and it was like aggressive. It wasn't like calm, it was aggressive, like it was trying to kill me or something. I don't even know. My feet were like flat on the ground. I wasn't moving. I was holding hands with the people beside me, and it just pulled me. And it like felt like someone was coming up behind me, like standing up behind me as I'm sitting in the chair, and like taking my shoulders and like pulling me towards the mirror. It was crazy.
Fellow participants and eyewitnesses from the seance took to Instagram to share their stories about the incident. One seance witness had this to say about the strange event. I sat across from him when this happened, and it was fantastic to see. Another witness says, I was there. Another epic seance with @JamesWhite Seance. So did James White capture evidence of an unknown entity aggressively grabbing an innocent visitor at the Lamb?
No, he didn't. I'll cut you off there, Nuke's top 5. Let's talk for a second. That was the most paid actor response / lie I've ever seen in my entire life in this. Like, dude wouldn't even look at the camera because he knew he was bullshitting. Sorry, but like you gotta think of those little nuances. He added so much detail that, and if you read up on like the art of lying and people who can read other people, that is like one of the biggest things is they'll enhance the version of the story they're telling and add all these unnecessary details to make it seem like it's more real than it was, right? Like I think two things happened. Either he was leaning in his chair, the chair either broke, or he's a paid actor, which I think he's a paid actor because he's hamming up this this reaction here explaining what's going on, but you notice his eyes don't leave
and it just
to look at the
pulled
camera
me.
whatsoever, and he's not even looking at whoever he's talking to.
And it like felt like someone was coming up behind me, like standing up behind me as I'm sitting in the chair and like taking my shoulders and like pulling me towards the mirror. It was crazy.
Fellow participants and
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and you look at what are those, I forget what they're called, the people who used to have TV shows where, you know, they would invite 150 guests or whatever, and it'd be like, okay, I'm getting this feeling of someone's dad passed away recently, and there'd be someone in the audience, oh my dad just passed away, and they would either take advantage of that person's emotional state by making bold claims that are related to anyone that in a traumatic situation would either agree upon or can see semblance in their situation. um and then they also got pulled off the air because there was a lot of paid actors. Same shit going on here. You know, you got a big group of people, of course you got to tell someone to ham it up, right? Otherwise they just paid to sit in a dark room all night in their seance. Like, I don't play these games, man. It's bullshit. It's not good for the paranormal community either. Like, if we're really trying to find some answers, this shit ain't helping.
Is it a male?
Scream. YouTube channel D's Dark Adventures says that an anonymous fan emailed her about a very creepy experience he had while driving home late one night. The dashcam video shows the man driving down an isolated country road in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, he spots something that makes his blood run cold.
Excuse me, you need help? What the?
The driver suddenly spots a woman walking all by herself in the middle of the night. As he gets closer, he is horrified when he sees that the woman is covered in blood. Worried for her safety, he rolls down his window and asks her if she needs help.
Excuse me, you need help?
After which, she lets out a blood-curdling scream.
What the?
At this point, the man notices that the woman appears to have no eyes, only black sockets. Terrified by her reaction and appearance, the driver quickly just gets out of there. He says that he called the police, but they never found this mysterious woman. So just what do you think is going on here? And what would you do in this same situation?
What the?
I do the same thing he did. Pull the fuck away. Again, I don't think it's paranormal related, but it is creepy, right? Like, this seems like a scene out of a movie, right? Guy going home from work or whatever, has his dash cam on, sees lady's got blood on her. She just either killed or stopped a killing or some shit, and now is walking down the road. Like, it feels like a movie scene. Do I think it's paranormal? No. Do I think she has black eyes? No. I think it's on a dash cam and it's gonna look like it's darker. Like, if you've ever taken a picture from someone with a grainy ass resolutioned camera, you know, it doesn't always capture the eyes crystal clear, especially in the nighttime. Lights reflect different. It's gonna happen. I don't think that it has anything to do. I don't think her eyes have anything weird going on here. I think it's just the way that the camera is set up.
Going on.
Because, I mean, you could say that about her hair too. It looks like she's bald, but no, it's just her hair is darker. She could have bags under her eyes. She could have paint on her eyes, like makeup on her eyes. Could be completely fake and just be a really good clip. But I mean, his reaction in general also isn't that, you know, like It's one of those reactions where either he was faking it or he's just tired of seeing so much crazy shit that he's all like, oh, what the fuck again? Yeah, I'm leaning more towards some traumatic event just happened, or this is meth head, something, someone with some sort of issues going on. I mean, even when I still frame it, right? Like, like, it's puts black spots on top of her head, but you can see her eyes, right? Like, it's she doesn't have black eyes, man. It's just wherever you want to stop the recording is what you're gonna see. Like here, yeah, it kind of looks like she has black eyes, but also kind of looks like she has a fucked up face because you're moving in your truck. You know, I think you guys get what I'm saying. We'll move on.
The Woman in White. Nuke's Top 5 viewer and paranormal investigator Mark.
Before we get going on this one, sorry, this is another thing that I just fucking that gets me going in the paranormal community now is like there's these stereotypical things that just always seem to pop up. And a woman in white is one of those stereotypical things. So immediately when I hear that, I'm so off put and don't care because I know it's probably going to be fake. Like little kid from like the 50s dressed up in like, looks like he's wearing clothes from the 50s, or woman in white, or tall man in a top hat. Like all those fucking paranormal stereotypes just fucking churn my head because it's so obviously you're just playing into the audience of people who enjoy paranormal or investigate it.
Reyes emailed me about a video that he captured with his family while on a ghost hunt at the Evangelical Spiritual Church in Cicero, Illinois. The church was once used as a funeral home and is said to be extremely haunted. It's the middle of the night and Rick and his family are investigating the church when suddenly their EMF meter detects something that they can't see. What happens next is truly chilling.
Are you afraid? That room over there is scary. Have you seen it? This one, come here. This one. This is a private office.
So you can't go in there.
No, I'm saying that it's open because we could.
Mommy, so you can't go in there. Mommy. So you can't go in there.
Nuke's gonna pop up right here and be like, did you see it? Yes, I did. It looks fake. It's dumb.
Did you see it? A woman who seems to be wearing a white gown can be seen standing behind the family on the far side of the church. Ricky says that his daughter felt a presence as she looked back, but that
You know, it's funny too because it's never moving. That's the other thing in like a lot of these videos. It's just stationary. And if you go at some point in the past, I don't know, however many videos I've done, I take time and I clipped it out of the main video and made it its own video to show you how easy it is to fake this bullshit. And I did it in, what is this program? Yeah, Paint 3D. I did it in Paint 3D with a paranormal picture, and it took me like 6 minutes. It's not hard to put still frames in videos, guys, especially in 2024. It's easier than it ever has been.
none of them actually saw the mysterious woman at the time.
Of course not.
It wasn't until they returned home that they discovered what they had captured. So could this eerie figure possibly be the spirit of one of the people who passed through the funeral home? Let
Doubt
me
it.
know what you think. We need
Doubt it. Do you guys want me to talk on it? 'Cause I feel like I've already kind of hit my points on that video. Also, you have scary videos. Send them to Nuke's Top 5, and then I'll probably talk about them.
scary videos. So if you see something that you think would be perfect for the top 5, send it to us at nukestop5@gmail.com. The Burial Mounds. Paranormal investigator Ian from the YouTube channel Midwest Ghost Hunter is back with another investigation. This time at the mysterious Native American burial mounds at the Crow Wing River in Minnesota. Many people claim to have experienced terrifying paranormal activity at the burial mounds. Some have heard the strange sound of phantom drums and disembodied voices, and some visitors even claim that they have seen glowing apparitions at the site. Curious about the claims, Ian decides to do an overnight investigation in the hopes of capturing paranormal evidence. Things quickly take a very creepy turn as Ian searches for one of the burial mounds.
Man, walking through these woods, I feel like anything could just pop out at me right now. Like, from anywhere. Bears, Bigfoot, ghosts, anything. Okay. I don't know if I'm going crazy. I thought I heard something behind me. Hello? Who's over there? I don't know, maybe I'm just paranoid. I don't know, I thought I heard something, but I'm not sure. Oh, holy shit. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not going crazy. I don't know. I don't know if I should try this, but I'm gonna try walking backwards because I want to see what's coming up behind me. Honestly, I don't even like walking backwards because I don't know what's ahead of me. Is there somebody out here with me? Oh my God! Holy shit! That scared me so bad. That was a straight up voice from thin air. It was as if somebody was standing like right there. Is there somebody out here with me? Oh my God! Holy shit! That scared me so bad. That was a straight up voice from thin air. It was as if somebody was standing like right there. Hello?
Ian hears footsteps following him. Then he hears a loud, indiscernible voice. He's now a little freaked out, but he continues his search until he finally finds one of the Native American burial mounds. What happens next is truly disturbing.
All right, here's mound number 2. I'm actually not going to say anything this time. I'm actually just going to listen. God, I'm hearing all kinds of things over here. It sounds like voices, but they're so faint.
A female voice can be heard speaking almost as if someone at the burial mound is having a long, involved conversation. But it's something else that really spooks Ian as he explores the Crowing River's edge. Something truly terrifying.
Even though there's not much going on right now, it's a lot of fun just being out here. Out in the wilderness. Even though it's dark, I can barely see 10 feet ahead of me. Holy shit. Just when I said it was fun being out here. Pretty sure that was a goose back there, splashing in the water.
Of all things, Ian's biggest scare so far comes from the sudden sound of a honking goose.
Holy shit.
Eventually, Ian finds another burial mound. Now, Ian knows that he might not be able to communicate in English with the spirits of the Native Americans buried there. So, he decides to just listen. What happens next is truly bizarre.
I start talking. It sounded like a male voice. Could you speak again? Oh my God! Dude, that was a face! I just seen a face! That was a glowing face! Oh my God, I cannot believe that! Dude, his face just appeared right there! Right there! Oh my God, that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen! It's one thing to see a light, a mist, even a shadow, but a face? A face! It looked like a man, too. It looked like a Native American man.
Ian hears another low voice speaking from somewhere nearby. A pale face then quickly appears and disappears from right out of the darkness. Ian is shocked by what he has captured and deems his paranormal investigation a huge success. So did Ian capture the voices and face of lingering Native American spirits buried at the Crow-Wing River? Let me know what you think. You can watch this entire investigation and many more spooky adventures over on the YouTube channel, Midwest Ghost Hunter. The Send.
All right. Well. I mean, first and foremost, I don't know if I really dig the idea of him out exploring. Hold on. We're pulling up. I'm going to pull up his channel here for a second. Yeah, I don't know if I really dig the idea of him exploring burial grounds, if that is what it is. Because, like, it's weird, right? Shouldn't that be somewhere that's left alone and in peace? But that's not the point of this channel, right? I'm just curious what he... Checking his channel a little bit, kind of seeing what's going on. So, he's still very active. Good for him. I think he's a horrible actor, first and foremost. The ghost face, again, that is horribly easy to edit in. Horribly easy to edit in. We could, if you guys want me to, again, I mean, I can work on an example of how easy it is to do this. You just need to, I'm going to talk and try and get things in order to do that. I just, you know, I there's this thing that goes on where there's so much activity that happens in one single video. You're like, wait, really? It's such bullshit. It is. There's so much shit going on in that video that it's like, is that like, could you really capture all that stuff in one outing? Now listen, I give him respect in a couple things. He's going out to a place that is super duper scary, like just in general. Sorry, it's hard to do two things at once here. I'm trying to find the right picture here here, we'll just do this. All right. So this should be pulling up here. Let me get my thoughts out here first, and then we'll talk about it. So he gets so much content in such a short amount of time. That already is a red flag for me, right? Because I don't care if he was out there for even 2 hours. He's got 3 or 4 EVPs of, or EVPs of very well heard voices. Okay. And then he also catches a ghost face, which, if real, is a very, very well captured one. And see, this is the other thing that bothers me is he just happened to point his camera at the exact right spot and then zoomed in at the exact right second to capture this ghost head. Like, dog, like, come on. Like, you guys gotta see that, right? Like, that is such other bullshit. Sorry, I'm gonna have to. I don't know why that's still on there. Cutlass, if you watch that, yeah, that was a funny video that never got posted. I think I sent it to you. Anyways, let me get this set up here so then we can do it. But yeah, first of all, I don't buy that he got that much content in one sitting. I definitely don't buy this shitty ass edited in face. I don't. His reactions are very garbage. They're very forced, but and it's funny too because his biggest reaction was the goose because everything else is fake. And the one real thing actually scared him. That's what I was going to give him respect for, is like going out to these places by yourself at night is already scary as shit. Right? Like, that's already really scary. So, here is our ghost face and our picture that we're going to use. Sorry, I need to add it because I do have to have it highlighted. Okay, so we're going to click magic select. We're going to let this auto populate itself. All right, and we're going to add this guy. Let's just say right here. It's a little small guy. Right, and we're not even using Photoshop. We're not going to do layers here. Okay. I haven't done this in a minute, so I kind of lost where a lot of my stuff is. Oops. Oh, that's a plugin. Shit. There we go. Oops. Now I need to be able to select, and then we need to make a sticker, and then we're just gonna slowly fade this out. Right? And let's move it. Let's move it like here. All right. Make it a little bit more faded out. Okay. So now if you take that picture, you can clearly see there's a disembodied head right there. Yeah? And like you could fuck around with it, right? You could get that perfect. You could download the 3D library thing, or not 3D library thing, the effects thing that lets you position it back, like position it better, so you can actually force the head perspectively behind the people. You can adjust it, maybe give it a body, give it an outline. But we just did that in what, a minute and a half on 3D Paint. Think of someone who actually knows how to use Photoshop. And when you add that into a video, right? All you do is you add, like, you pull up your video editing software, you add in your picture that you want to have pull up. Okay, you give it its own layer, okay? And then you have it play, where in the 5 seconds that it plays, it heightens its transparency and then lowers its transparency till it disappears. And boom, you have a floating ghost head in a video. Right? Right? Like, this is like easy too. I've never taken a video editing class. I did Photoshop shit in high school 10 years ago. Like, I'm not a professional, and I could show you guys how easy it is to do in Paint in 8 seconds. Like, if you guys took this family video, you're like, what the fuck is that? Oh my God, is that a head? Like, And that's not even a good example. I Googled real ghost face and family picture, and these were the first two things that popped up. I could have went and got a ghost head that fits the colors better. Because the original one is like, if I can take it back, it's like bright blue. Right? Like, we made this head look like it exists in reality just based off of making a sticker in 3D paint and just changing the transparency. Like, I don't know. I don't know why it bothers me so much. I think it's because I genuinely just am curious about paranormal, and then we got people who are making content. And listen, I don't hate the hustle. If that's what you're hustling and you're making some moolah or whatever you're doing, maybe it's your passion to just entertain people through paranormal, which is an avenue, and I can respect if that's what you're doing. But if you're trying to pass it off as real paranormal, kind of fucked up.
Oh my god! Dude, that was a face!
And many more spooky adventures over on the YouTube channel, Midwest Ghost Hunter, the Sandhaven Sanatorium. Nuke's top 5 viewer Ricky and his sister Vicky set out to explore the old abandoned Sandhaven Sanatorium near Dunseith, North Dakota. The sanatorium was built in 1912 as a treatment center for patients suffering from tuberculosis. Many of these patients did not survive. They passed away inside the walls of the Sandhaven Sanatorium. In the 1960s, the hospital became a treatment center for the mentally impaired. However, it was eventually closed in 1987 after many reports of patient mistreatment and neglect. The Sandhaven Sanatorium is now known as a paranormal hotspot, and to this day, those with an interest in the supernatural travel to the hospital to explore, hoping to experience paranormal activity. So, Ricky and his sister are carefully exploring the creepy old decaying building. They experience something downright creepy.
No, I bet it was a morgue. Oh, come on, let me have that.
Couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's creepy.
Yeah, this building's getting pretty bad. Was that you? That wasn't you, was it?
No.
Sounds like someone's upstairs. There's someone upstairs. There's someone upstairs.
I hope so.
Hello? Hello? Where are you at?
Now, it should be noted that this odd event can be explained away as simply water rattling around in the building's old rusty pipes. In fact, if you look closely, this isn't even a water pipe at all. It's actually a piece of old metal electrical conduit that has been cut in half. Nevertheless, it moves and rattles as if shaken by some unknown force. Ricky and his sister are a bit freaked out and worried that they might not be alone in the sanatorium. However, even if there was someone else upstairs, it would be impossible for that person to even reach this metal conduit to make it move. So this creepy capture remains a mystery.
Is that you?
The thing down the hall.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one for sure. I mean, the only thing that I don't understand maybe is if this pipe is connected to this pipe, because it does look like that pipe goes upstairs, and maybe they're not wrong. Maybe there is someone else there. I mean, he clearly saw that pipe moving, right? Like in the moment. I mean, I've always said the same thing, right? Like, the odds of you catching something paranormal that's actually, you know, potentially paranormal are slim to none. And the scariest thing that you could run into is other people, right? Like abandoned places, or either other people's homes who are on rougher times, or, you know, people looking to do some bad or shady shit. Or you got some artist doing some spray painting. That's usually the scariest thing you'll run into. You know, the countless amount of ghost hunts and ghost investigations I've been on, 95% of them are either bullshit faked, or people freak out over stuff that's not really happening. And the only scary stuff ends up being the people you run into who you don't want to. So it definitely could be just someone living there, and maybe they are fucking with them, or maybe it's another group of paranormal people, or someone living there. It is very weird, though. I mean, that pipe is for sure moving. Like, there's no question. Like, unless this pipe right here, he hits and it wiggles something up there, which is possible. But I mean, you can see that thing move and then it just stops. So I don't know if it's connected to this, and maybe someone's pulling that up and down and it's wiggling it, or I don't know. Interesting video. Hard to say anything's paranormal, but it's definitely interesting.
Is that you?
The thing down the hall. A group of friends from Madrid, Spain are hanging out when they suddenly hear strange sounds coming from the bathroom down the hall.
Están escuchando, soy yo. Se están escuchando mazo de ruidos, tú. Eso viene del baño.
No vayas, estás loco,
Mano.
¿Qué es lo que quiere que vayas?
Mano, venga, poco. Una polla. Una polla.
No.
Ocho, para.
Pon la linterna, hermano, ¿qué haces? ¿Estás loco?
Se está escuchando desde el baño.
Escúchame, pon la linterna ahí, hermano.
¿Hola?
Una polla. Hermano, esto es mucho mal rollo,
¿Hay alguien ahí?
No.
Hermano.
Tira, vamos a ver lo que es.
Hermano, no.
Tira. Asoma la cámara. Espérate lo que hay, Todavía no hay nada. ¡Hostia puta!
¡Corre, hermano! ¡Corre! What the
The guys are hesitant to look inside the bathroom, but when they do, something horrifying can be seen staring back at them. User Ain Holval shares the video to TikTok with the caption, "What the hell was in my bathroom?" Now, it's certainly very creepy, but is it real? Or is it all just an elaborate TikTok hoax? You decide.
¡Hostia puta!
¡Corre, hermano! ¡Corre! What the
Genuine intrigue. New homeowner and Reddit user Genuine Intrigue has been finding evidence that some kind of animal has been walking around his backyard late at night. Curious to see what kind of animal it might be, he decides to look through the footage recorded by his motion detecting security camera. But what he finds sends a chill down his spine. During a soft rain, a translucent figure seems to slowly walk through the backyard. Reddit user Genuine Intrigue has no explanation for this bizarre capture. But what do you think this is? Holton Avenue. Popular urban explorer Chris Hill from the YouTube channel Urbex Hill sets out to explore Holton Avenue, an entirely abandoned street in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, it's unknown why the street was left abandoned, other than it sits in an incredibly dangerous neighborhood. Multiple bodies have been found on this street, and each of the deceased met their end under mysterious and horrifying circumstances. So, dragging around his balls of steel, Chris Hill makes it his mission to record and document the abandoned buildings on Holton Avenue before they are demolished. In the middle of the night, Chris begins his exploration at the abandoned First Hungarian Baptist Church. He soon realizes that he might have made a huge mistake.
I could have swore I heard something. I think that's an animal. That's weird. What's upstairs?
As Chris is exploring the basement, he hears strange noises, but can't identify the source. Then a door above him on the ground floor just slams shut. Chris quickly makes his way upstairs to investigate, and what happens next is downright creepy.
There's somebody outside.
Chris finds nothing and no one to explain why the door slammed shut. But when reviewing his footage at home, he realizes that he captured more than he thought. A 4K static camera that he placed inside the church's chapel reveals that something seems to move towards the door just before it slams shut. Another static camera shows something pale and translucent moving around the pews while Chris is in the room. But that's not all that Chris captured that night, because after a thorough walkthrough of the church, Chris decides to check out one of the abandoned houses on Holton Avenue. It did not go well.
Okay, let's talk about the first part before we get into the second part. Very good video. My first thought when that door slammed shut is like, okay, we've seen this a million times. Airflow. I'm not going to keep talking about how it works. Close a door, maybe a door will fucking shut. But the thing is, that door doesn't have any airflow unless it was in those ceiling tiles that were messed up, which quite possible. However, now I know I just went on a whole tirade about, how easy it is to edit stuff, and I'm not saying that this stuff that he is showing isn't easy to edit, because it can be done, but it's the nuances of, small differences of versus like a big thing, right? This guy's got several different camera angles with different light sources catching different things. This, of course, could be the reflection of someone else walking around the other side of the room, but it does correlate perfectly with the door slamming. I would love to see the footage of that, of whatever was walking here, and the door slamming from that other camera angle. Maybe they showed that first. Because you definitely can't see this from that other angle, I doubt, just because it's much more dark. But yeah, unless there's airflow up at the top, you definitely can't. The airflow argument isn't possible. Or, I mean, it's possible, but it's less likely. Very creepy place. And like Nuke said, the fucking steel balls of this guy to go here by himself. You know, and I don't say that because, like, oh, he's gonna get attacked by a ghost. It's like, no, like, what if the floor collapses and you get fucked up, or you trip on all the debris and break your leg, or there are people living there that don't want you there, people strung out? Like, put yourself in bad situations going alone.
It did not go well.
This is sketchy. This cannot be safe.
Nope.
Hope I don't find a body down here. It actually looks like it's just underneath the house. It's not really a basement. Still creepy. Hope I don't find a body down here. It actually looks like it's just underneath the house. It's not really a basement. Still creepy. Sorry. I didn't know nobody lived there. Shit.
While checking out the house's basement, Chris hears
It was exactly what I just talked about. Like, that's more terrifying than the ghost. Like, good thing that dude didn't fucking pull a gun or some shit.
movement on the floor above him. Freaked out by the sound, he quickly starts making his way out of there. But there's someone inside with him, peeking out from behind a curtain. The man seems to be living in the abandoned home.
He had a bat.
Chris knows the horrifying stories of the people who met a tragic end on Holton Avenue, so he quickly just gets out of the house. And with that, Chris has had about enough. He decides to just head home. Now, for obvious reasons, I advise everyone watching this to just stay away from Holton Avenue. But if you want to see more of Chris's exploration...
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, dude had a bat. There's nothing stopping him from going out there and beating the shit out of him, robbing him, killing him. Like, that's more scary than 90% of the paranormal stuff. But it was a good video. It was a good video for the start. It was some decent paranormal stuff going on.
You can find them all on his YouTube channel, Urbex Hill. Freefall. TikTok user Jalen Rich is hanging out with a friend on the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, California a little after closing time. Something happens that freaks them both out.
Okay, but the boardwalk closed like half an hour ago.
This is scary.
Where the Okay, I'm really bad at this. No one's on there. Is there?
Okay, I totally saw someone in the camera.
Someone appears to be seated on the Santa Cruz Boardwalk freefall ride, even though the ride is supposed to be closed. But then, whoever or whatever it is seems to disappear into thin air. Jalen explains that both she and her friend saw someone sitting on the ride and have no idea how to explain what happened. Now, the Santa Cruz Boardwalk opened in 1907 and has seen at least 3 confirmed fatal accidents over the last 116 years. One rumor even states that a park visitor tragically broke their neck on this very ride. So could it be that Jalen captured the spirit of someone who never made it out of the park? You decide. Followed home.
You know,
TikTok user
I don't hate that one as much as I probably should.
Whoever or whatever it
I mean, it definitely looks like it's edited, but it's a good edit if it is. Because it does just kind of fade to nothing. Like, because you can see... I mean, even there, though, that might just be light reflecting on the seat. Because, like, your first initial thought, if you're told, like, oh, yeah, there's a human there, you're like, yeah, for sure. But I wonder if it's just some sort of light fixture reflecting, and then when it breaks the cusp of one of these buildings, the light stops reflecting. Because, I mean, at first glance, it does look like it fades, like something, like, disappears out of it. But it may just be light and an angle. Because I don't think that this part... Because when you first see it, you think that this bottom part might be legs, right? You guys see where I'm circling? Like, you think that's legs, but that doesn't actually disappear. That stays there, and just this top part kind of changes. Yeah, I don't think it... I think it's just weird lighting and angle. It definitely got me at first, though. I definitely thought it was something like a fucking Ghost Rider, dude. They ghost riding the fucking rocket. Sorry, I'm just getting back to normal speed.
Followed home. TikTok user Francisco Javier claims that strange things have been happening at his home in Spain after exploring an abandoned farm he came across one day in the middle of nowhere. He says that the farm is a place of intense paranormal activity.
Vale. Que no sé, tío. Está por aquí. Joder. Creo que está por aquí. ¿Hola? Escúchenlo. Ah, ¿qué va? ¿Qué coña? Ahora sí. Me cago en la... ¡Oh! Ahora sí me lo hizo detrás de mí. Ahora sí me lo hizo detrás de mí.
Francisco is recording at the farm when a door slams shut right behind him. After his days exploring the farm, he believes that something might have followed him home.
Empiezo a grabar porque estoy escuchando sonidos desde el baño muy raros y estoy solo en casa. Dentro del baño. ¿Qué cojones? No puede ser. ¿Qué coño?
Francisco believes that he might be dealing with multiple entities as he begins to hear taunting voices, laughing, and even the sound of intense crying in the night.
Escucha. Soy un niño. Escucha. No hay nadie.
The chilling sound of a baby crying sends Francisco off to search his entire apartment, but he finds nothing to explain the sound. Another night and things escalate to another level when Francisco's Amazon Alexa begins to behave very strangely and absolutely terrifying.
Alexa me da un susto de muerte.
Escucha. Mira, se acaba de conectar. ¡Qué susto!
Francisco says that his Alexa is disconnected, yet it calls out in Spanish, "Go to the window. I want to see you."
Mira, se acaba de conectar. ¡Qué susto!
And that's not the only time that this happens.
Coño.
A female voice coming from the Alexa laughs out loud but then stops as soon as Francisco comes around the corner. Then an entirely different, lower and creepier voice calls out, "Hola." Francisco has had enough, but he has no idea how to stop the terrifying activity. He tries to continue living his life as if nothing has happened. But then one night when he's hanging out just watching TV, this happens.
Escuchen, acabo de empezar a escuchar a tocar desde esa puerta. ¿Están tocando desde ahí? ¿O es cosa mía? Míralo, míralo. ¿Hola? No puede ser. ¿Qué coño es eso? ¿Qué coño es eso, tío? ¿Qué coño es eso? ¿Qué cojones? Hay una luz aquí encendida también. ¿Qué era eso, loco? ¿Qué coño era eso? Nada, tío. Uf. ¡Qué puto susto, loco!
Francisco is startled by knocking coming from his hallway door. When he stands up to check it out, he spots what appears to be a small child looking in through the window. Shocked by what he's seeing, he quickly opens the door only to find no one there. Whoever or whatever this is has disappeared. So did something follow Francisco home from the abandoned farm that he explored? Could it even be multiple spirits? And if you were in his shoes, just what would you do?
Some great content. I mean, I feel like we've just been bitching and complaining this whole entire video. So I think I'm just going to keep this final part short. If we take the context clues of him being a horror fan with all of his decor, there was a room set up there was a child's room. He hasn't even talked about his kids, which I'm saying that they're probably involved in helping and doing this. It's fun. It's a cool way to make some content, get some views. Like, you know, most horror fans are, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of horror fans are into paranormal, have weird thoughts about making their own movies or whatever. I think that's what's going on here. So when they threw Alexa into the mix, it's silly. That's a trendy thing now, that Alexa's can hear disembodied voices. It's silly, but that's going to conclude today's episode. Make sure to go subscribe to Nuke's Top 5, showing some love. Always appreciate being able to use his videos. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next week. Peace.